Is Donald Trump good for your investment portfolio? On this part of the Investment Advisor, we take a look at the Trump presidency, not the politics. We're only looking at how the Trump presidency, how his administration could affect your investments, not just in the United States, but around the world. What's happening of late? You've seen a summit with the NATO members. We've seen tensions between NATO and the United States, and we've seen a closer relations between the United States and Russia. What does that mean for your investments? What could it mean for your investments? On the face of it, tensions between the United States and its NATO partners is bad for business. It has to be. The EU is an important trading bloc. The United States is an important trading bloc. So that I take as a negative. What about the relations between Britain going through Brexit and the EU? Again, that's a negative. Why? Trade barriers. We've talked about it before. Tariffs increase the costs of production around the world. Britain may be an important economy. I think it certainly is. But without access to the European Union, without the European access to the British market, it means higher prices. That means less business. What about Russia and the United States? How does that affect your stock portfolio? Well, it's probably a positive in the sense that the United States, Russia, important military powers, the two of those countries getting along better in whichever form, despite all the histrionics of headlines, that is probably good for the world. We certainly don't want to go back to the period when there was a Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union. That was bad for business, bad for Europe, bad for Russia, bad for everyone. The sum of that, however, I think, is a more fractured world. It means the Trump relationships with Europe are complicated. He doesn't get along well with Germany. He's suspicious of German relations with Russia on gas deals. And he's also suspicious of the United Kingdom, Britain, getting closer to the European Union and not going through what's called a hard Brexit. So all these questions, how do they add up to your portfolio? I think that political tensions translate into lower prices on stock investments. So you have to be careful. Geopolitical effects do determine how markets perform, and I think we have to be very careful. At the same time, don't be too negative and don't listen to every report you hear on every newspaper and saying everything is bad. It's not always that bad. And the goal of harmonious relations between the United States, Russia, and the European Union, for all we know, might, after a downtrend, come back and be good for your stock investments. That's the hope anyway. And that's all the time we have this week on the Investment Advisor. I'm your host, Matthew Stevenson, in partnership with Dukascopy TV. Remember, money can take care of you. It cannot take care of itself.